Good evening and welcome to the hour dedicated to talking about all things strange, weird, and paranormal. You're listening to Strange Talk, broadcasting on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FM HD2 WVXU in Cincinnati. We're also streaming at radioartifact.com around the entire planet Earth. The intro track to this episode and most of our episodes is the Strange Talk intro by Star Silk. I'm your host, Alyx, and we have a very special guest tonight. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Oh, me?
Yes, Chris, if you're still there.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Chris Harmon. I'm with the Mutual UFO Network, and I'm also with Something Wicked Paranormal Investigations. I'm also a licensed certified hypnotherapist, a certified psychic remote viewer, and psychic medium. I work in multiple different areas, including all across social media, as well as you might see me on Amazon Prime, occasionally the Travel Channel, and various things such as Discovery Plus. I have very many years of ET experiences. I'm a contactee, a lifelong contactee since the time I was a child. And that's my introduction, as well as also being a professional photographer. And like I said, a certified licensed hypnotherapist.
Yeah. And we met you at Scarefest, and I'm really glad because, yeah, you were saying you're a lifelong contactee and you're a photographer. And my background's also in photography and videography. And I was like, this is great.
Right, and so what do you want to begin?
Well, you said you're a lifelong contactee. So when did you start having these experiences? How young were you?
I was probably just no more than an infant. I was born 8 weeks early. I know a lot of contactees who are ET experiencers seem to be born a little earlier, like premature. Mm-hmm. At the time I was born, from the day I was born, I remember the day I was born. I remember that particular day being hooked up to all these tubes and on life support just to be able to hang on to breathe. I was born so early I couldn't breathe by myself. From that point on, even then I knew that I 100% didn't quite fit in, but sort of. And as I began to grow, I started having visions and dreams of seeing people, places, and things that I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
But yet I felt very comfortable in all of that as well. Mm. And one of the things I remember the most, and I did this quite often, I was flying, and there'd be somebody guiding me, and we'd fly. We wouldn't go into space. We stayed more or less on Earth, but we would fly. And there were times, even when at the age of like 2 or 3, I remember flying over, just staring at my house, my school, and thinking, wow, this is so cool, because you see the clouds and just be hanging there looking at everything. It was amazing. And of course, as a child, I was of course focused on video games and cartoons and things, but I knew that those weren't dreams. I knew that those were real.
Yeah.
Even though I had proof of it.
Was it like astral projection, or were you like really there flying?
It could have been both, because I mean, it seemed very, very real.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, even going outside at night, just staring at the stars in the skies, like feeling like I got a place up there, which I did. I didn't have all the clues together at the time, because most contactees, when they have contact at a young age, when they're brought back, they don't remember everything necessarily because the ETs were a lot of times they will block parts of that out of your memory because they don't want that to affect your day-to-day life growing up. Because you have a purpose here on Earth, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And if you had all that knowledge while you were here on Earth, you would be sidetracked from your purpose on Earth. And I was that way. But I would know bits and pieces of things. So I knew I had contact. But as a kid, I would stare at the sky and just looking for my home up there, which I knew that there was a home up there somewhere.
Yeah, I've always had this, when I look at the moon, it feels familiar, you know?
Right.
So oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead. So as I began to get older, and I became more like 7 years old, 8 years old, some of the experiences and all that seemed to die down a little bit. But then once I became a teenager, they began to again pick up. And one of the earliest memories, one of the best memories I have, was in 1996. It was between February and April, and we just moved into my grandparents' house at the time. We had lived in a smaller house, and my grandfather passed away, so we kind of swapped houses with the grandmother. So we had this big country house that we lived in, and we still have the house. And one night I was in there sleeping, or I went to bed, and all of a sudden I found myself standing in the dining area of our previous house, and down the stairs, which is right next to the dining room table at the old house, came this beautiful, beautiful white angel.
Oh wow!
I remember thinking, I've never met anybody literally that beautiful, and I said to myself, if I could meet somebody that beautiful, this world would be so perfect.
Yeah.
And he sat down on a chair, dining room chair, and I sat down, and we just embraced. I had a feeling like she was either a mother or a future, or my future wife per se, but I didn't know which one. I just know she was so beautiful and loving. And when we hugged each other, there was a feeling like I knew her from somewhere. So that's when I began to think she must be my mother. And as I got older, I began to realize that was my mother from up there. She came down in human form.
That's so cool. That's amazing.
It is, and one of those memories I never forget.
Yeah.
Also, around that same time, now I'd even experienced this even prior to that, psychic abilities. I had the ability to know things. Like people would be talking, I would know that's not going to work, or that is going to happen, or he is going to come. And trying to convince people of that, a lot of times, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, just be quiet. And most of the time I would keep it to myself because it wasn't an everyday affair. That's because I didn't know how to turn it on and off. Now I can have the ability to just look at somebody, and just by looking at them, I can get details automatically. Like you could give me a book of 100 people with no names next to it, but I could look at every one of those people. I could tell you if they're good, bad, happy, sad, and possibly even who they are. I get a download of information.
Yeah.
And so then from that point forward, I went to high school, junior high and high school. And I used to watch this show on television called, it was called Maury Povich, or his talk show.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a woman on there periodically called Sylvia Brown, a psychic. And she'd be giving psychic readings. And I think I could do things like that. I have the ability to. I'm pretty sure I do. And I'd watch her, and I'd watch, man, I think I am having the same effects and abilities that she has.
Yeah.
Maybe not as strong as she has, because she's doing a pretty good job. She's going like this and going, yeah, nothing. So I tried to focus on that more. I started studying things online about how to be psychic, how to tune in and get your abilities going. And not a whole lot happened, but then of course I then graduated high school, and around that time the experiences began to ramp up. They became more prominent. I guess I should say more noticeable per se, a lot more noticeable. And there were times I would be visited almost on a nightly basis. They would come in, and at this time, I still, when they would come in, I say still, I began to feel their presence more. As a child, I wouldn't feel their presence coming. They would just take me and we go flying around and having fun. And But now here I am out of high school now, and they're coming in, and I'm seeing them, their presence. But they look more like a somewhat of a shadow figure. But I would hide from them because I was when I knew they were coming. I didn't know. Part of me understood it, but part of me was so scared, so I would hide under the covers.
Yeah.
And I did this for a long time. But the problem was, or not the problem, but the thing was, once I would get with him, and that I would go up there with him, my memories were unleashed. So I would know where I'm at, who I'm with. Everything was crystal clear. When I come back here later on, my memories would be erased. I would know I was somewhere. I would have visions, bits and pieces of information and pictures. And I would think, well, now where was I? And who was that?
Yeah.
But part of me inside my heart said, well, you know who they are because it was wonderful. You had a great time, and I did. Every night they would come, and I think, oh, here they come, and I'd hide. And then I'd go when I come back. I was like, that was great. I don't remember what all happened, but it felt wonderful. And a lot of times during the day, I'd be going about my daily routines and jobs and stuff. I would have visions of like, when did I do that? It must have been last night. But when did I do that? Well, that must have been last night too. And around that same time, I started watching a show on television called Ghost Hunters. Yeah. It used to come on the Sci-Fi channel, and then they switched. But I started getting into that, and I was shocked at first because I thought ghost hunting was just like a movie with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all that. People do this for real. Well, at first I was kind of bored at it because these guys were just staring, waiting for something to happen. I thought, this is kind of boring. But I started watching it more and more and got addicted to it. And I began researching how to become a paranormal investigator. And around this same time, I was also having, and this is something that I had the gift of even as a kid. I had the gift of being able to heal and help other people.
Yeah.
I can literally take somebody who doesn't feel good, and just by speaking to them and maybe saying a prayer or something, I could heal their problems. Yeah. Literally, like let's say they have a flu or a cold or an illness, I could literally just by helping them and being there and speaking to them, I could heal them. And I noticed a pattern. I was always in the right place at the right time to help somebody. I mean, I could literally walk into a store and somebody's going to choke, fall, get hit by a car or something. I'd always be right there at the right time. And I mean, I don't mean once in a while. I mean like every day, daily basis. It could happen 4 or 5 times in one day. And the problem was, at this point in my life, I was going through this kind of an aggravated, depressed and mad at myself stage. I was mad because I began to realize I can't have a relationship. I've tried, everything fails. I cannot get a high-paying job, everything fails. The only thing I can do is help people. That and have experience. Now, I love the experiences. Yeah. But the fact that I can't do a high-paying job or have a relationship, why is that? Because every time I would attempt to, something would go wrong, literally. And there was a pattern that kept happening. And one day, I said something that was probably stupid to say, but I said, there was more to life than me sitting around and helping people and doing the same SHIT every day. It's ridiculous. I've been through this. And when I said that, I meant it at the time. Later on, at this point, I'm in my mid-20s, maybe 23, 24, maybe even 25, around there. One day I began to realize maybe the reason why I'm having all these experiences at night and having all these gifts of being able to help people is because that is the best job in the world. So one day I looked up to the sky. I didn't know who I was talking to, but a part of me knew who I was talking to, and I said, I'll make a deal with you. I said, you let me have a relationship and high-paying job, I promise you I'll always help other people and put that job first above everything else. Yeah. Within just a matter of days, I got a call from the Travel Channel wanting me to do a paranormal show with him. Yeah. And then later on, then just a few weeks after that, I met a team of investigators, paranormal investigators that were local. And they hired me more or less right on the spot. Yeah. And then, of course, within just 2 weeks later, we started doing our show. We signed contracts. Just 2 weeks later, to start doing our paranormal shows on Amazon Prime. So more everything was just booming just like that. Yeah. And and then about that same time, the pandemic hit, and then everything went
Yeah.
But I didn't let that stop me. During that time, I began to research, okay, what can I do with my time? I had to do something. So I realized one passion I had was becoming a professional photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to online schooling and became a certified professional photographer and have my own business now
Yeah.
called Other World Photography. And around that same time, let's see, that would have been around 2020. So around that same time, one night I had the idea that I'm going to face my fears of the ETs that come at night.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love my experiences with them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always hiding from them when they come. So one night I decided to, when they come, I'm gonna look directly at it. There's
Yeah.
nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
I know better than that. So I did. And there's this gentleman uh, with his head kind of turned. And he's smiling at me like, okay, it's time. I'm here for you. Well, let's go. Let's whatever. And he had the biggest smile on his face. And I thought, wow. And I wanted to prove that he was really there. And I had a white Himalaya cat with blue eyes, which is also an ET, or was. He was an
Mm-hmm.
ET as well. Found that out. I looked back to see, because he always slept right behind me. I
Yeah.
wanted to look to see if he could see this too, to verify that this is real. And my cat's just looking at him like, yeah, it's just him. I was okay. So I faced my fears. And from that point forward, I began to have more memories. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
go, come back, and remember everything, or not everything, but more.
Yeah.
And around that same time, um, the experiences stopped briefly. They stopped, but they were happening more like every few weeks.
Uh-huh.
And my abilities to heal and help other people began to increase. I had people that I would literally be right behind, let's say, standing right in front of you, and next thing you know, you pass out in my arms, or I'd walk out to a parking lot, bam, somebody's going to hit by a car. I'd grab them real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, just it was constantly getting more and more and more, and I had people literally praising me, think, well, I don't know what I'd do if you weren't here. That's when I began to realize, okay, I'm doing the right thing in life.
Mm-hmm.
And once the pandemic ended, at this point, I had my own photography career going on. And then I met the person who I'm with now. She is my best friend forever. Her name is Rachel, and I don't know what I do without her because we give each other strength and courage.
Yeah.
So like one lifts the other up constantly. And during that time, this was during the pandemic, a strange thing happened. So if the pandemic maybe hadn't happened, I wouldn't have heard this word. And if we'd have been out investigating, doing our shows, I may not have heard this word. But one of the guys in our team said, "Why don't you come over and hang out for a day?" So I did.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls out this card. We were sitting on talking. He pulls out this little card. He said, "Gotta join MUFON." I said, "What's MUFON?" He said, "Investigate UFOs."
Mm-hmm.
When he said that word, I mean, it was like the whole room lit up
It
in a
just
pure white
clicked.
light.
Yeah.
And immediately I knew, okay, that's my next step. So, of course, getting into MUFON is not an easy task. You got to study this book about yay thick.
Mm-hmm.
You also got to have a background in astronomy and various things. Well, I took that book and I memorized that son of a gun word for word to the point where I could literally recite it in my sleep. If you're on a spaceship, you don't have time to recite UFO books, but if you're up there, you don't have to anyways. But I memorized it. When I took my examination, I failed. So I took the book and memorized it word for word again and failed. So I took the book the third time. I memorized every single word in that book to where I could literally say every little word. And I aced my examination by maybe just missing one question. Then, of course, I had to go into they have their online courses that you take on astronomy and various topics. So I went through all of that and aced everything and became a certified field investigator with MUFON, investigating UFOs. And it was there I began to realize, okay, other people have had similar experiences as me, and that other people have even seen some of the same entities that I have. And then one night, everything changed. I got very, very, very sick with a cold, very sick. And I was lying in bed. I began to question my life and everything. I began questioning things because normally, and I forgot this part of the story, but ever since I was a kid, I've always been, I want to say, very, very healthy. there were times I would think I was starting to come down with something, and then within a matter of moments or hours, I would be healed instantly. And I knew it was my family from up there in space that were healing me, my ET family. I knew it. I didn't have proof of it, and they never said that we're healing you, but I knew it was them. And there was one that had 107-degree temperature, and within an hour it was gone.
Wow.
Like I don't have proof it was 107, but I know it was very, very high.
Yeah.
And within an hour it was gone. And so here I am with my in bed, very, very sick, and not feeling worth a hoot. And I started questioning my life. And I said, if you can hear me, I said, please, as you heal me, give me a sign that everything I'm doing is correct. They never came. The whole night they never came. And I couldn't understand why they didn't come this time. Why am I going through this? And I thought then I began to think, well, maybe I can't feel the fact that they are here. No, they're not here. Otherwise, I would know it. Next morning, I woke up and everything was I was healed. So I went to work. During my shift at work, this woman comes through the store, dressed all in black. And I had the strangest feeling. I know her from somewhere, and she's going to say something to me. And the closer she got, the more I began to feel like, okay, I know her from somewhere. Then I thought, who in the world is this? And then she walks up to me. She goes, "Just wanted to let you know you're doing a good job." And as she started to walk away, she stopped. She started to walk away. She stops, and she turns around and she says to me, and I quote, she goes, "Just to let you know, you will get rewarded for all this work."
Wow.
And when she said that, a light bulb went off. Everything came flooding back.
Yeah.
Up there, she was one of my either family members or another person on the ship that I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it came flooding back to me, and then after she made those last few words, "You will get rewarded for all this," she faded away. Wow. And I said to the person next to me, I said, "That was weird." What? I said, "That woman in black." What? Never mind. You didn't see her, but
I didn't see her at all.
Wow. Do you have any questions for me before I go any further?
Yeah, so when you found MUFON, was that the first time that you found other people who'd had these same experiences as you?
Yes. Other than maybe a few paranormal experiences, that was the first time I ever had knew anybody that had ET experience.
Yeah, I feel like people, even now, don't talk about that part of it as much as they're willing to talk about seeing ghosts.
Yeah, before I learned about MUFON, I'd never even seen a UFO movie or show, not that I recall.
Yeah, it's only, I feel like it's only recently it's starting to really take off. And you said these experiences that you've had, they were all really positive, but you were still kind of afraid of them, like, because you didn't know when they were coming.
Yeah, I mean, all the experiences were very, very positive, but knowing that, okay, here they are, I feel somebody's here, that was scary because the me in the present didn't have the full memories. Like, okay, that's Cindy, or that's John, or that's so and so.
Yeah.
Once I would go up there with them, my memories were unglued. I knew everything. I knew.
Yeah.
In fact, here shortly, I will detail you what the ship looks like.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. And the psychic powers that you had, you said they got stronger the more you had these visits. Was it sort of like that was almost coming from them?
The psychic powers that I had, they were given to me. But the strangest thing is, now that I'm older, I have the ability to turn it on and off. Like I could look at you, and I could read everything about you, but I can also look at you and know nothing too, because there's a switch.
Yeah.
Not a switch that I can just. There's really no way to describe it other than you just know how to do what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just taking time to learn how to control it fully.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so let's see where to leave off at. Oh yeah, so after she left that day, she gave me that message. I could have literally sat down and cried. That message was so beautiful, and it was reassuring. Okay, they are with me at all times. So then one day I was in a meeting, a UFO type meeting, and everybody was contacting their spirit guides. You know, everybody that was on the Zoom, everybody, mine's here, mine's here, mine's here, mine's here. And I said, mine ain't here yet. And about that time, I had this shove right here. And I said, okay, yeah, you are here. Okay. And I never doubted them since then.
Yeah.
So here we are at this part of the story. This would have been around 2023. I had met my best friend ever, Rachel, and she was became one of the best persons I've ever met. And so I also at this point during my time with MUFON, somebody was discussing remote viewing, and I researched what is remote viewing. I thought, no kidding. It's about being able to get information and figure things out just with a piece of paper and a pencil. I thought, this is interesting. Well, I already know a lot of things just by being psychic, and so I decided I'm going to become a remote viewer. So what I did was I went online and I found a place, the Remote Viewing Institution, I believe it's called. I have to look it up. But I took an online course and got certified as a remote viewer. And shortly after that, I began, because I already had a psychiness to me, and what I found worked best for me, because when I was doing remote viewing the way that they were teaching it, that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I could do remote viewing my way, and I could ace everything. I could ace every target. I could do everything better doing it my way than trying to do it their way. And I realized something. Every person, even you, can do remote viewing, but every person has their own wavelength of how they perceive information. So you can follow a do this, and this, and you may fail every time. But if I was to use my psychic abilities, figure out, okay, here's how you want to learn this, here's how you need to learn this, I could teach you in a half hour. You can remote view perfectly because I teach you how to tap into your own abilities that you don't even know you have. I can see where they're at. I can use specific language to teach you how to do all of this. Because if I teach you in words that you understand, or words that you like, that you relate to, because everybody has certain words they like or certain words that they use a lot. If I teach you how to do all of this with your own type of language, you can do a perfect job. And I started teaching remote viewing, and when I met Rachel, she started assisting me in all this. And between the two of us, we have taught over 300 people, way over 500 classes or thereabouts, and never had one person that could not walk away as a remote viewer. Wow. We have students that can literally, one lady, we have a lady that comes into our class occasionally. She's already certified, but she comes into our class occasionally. Her name is, I won't say her name, but she's a lawyer, by the way, and her first day in class, she aced her first homework assignment, having never done this before, because of the way we teach. She was picking up on it instantly because I'm able to tap in. I know how she needs to learn this, so using what I know to make it work for her, and she aced her first assignment.
Yeah.
And so anybody out there who's listening, if you want to take my online remote viewing course, contact me. I'm sure you can probably put the email up or something in the chat room. And just contact me through the email, and you can take our online remote viewing courses. They're very cheap because I don't work for money. I work to help people, and I work out of love.
Yeah.
Because my family up there, they don't work for money. They work for love, and I work because I love to help people.
Yeah.
And I think Rachel may be here if you want to bring her in.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel, if you want to join us.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. I've just been here listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you want to talk about your experiences with remote viewing?
Yeah, sure. So I guess like Chris said, we became friends a few years ago, but before that, I hadn't really done like any remote viewing, and like to be honest, I didn't even think I could do that. I had some sort of like experience like doing other things, like other sort of psychic phenomenon, but I didn't really understand remote viewing. But I took the class, and after that, like I started being able to like actually do it, and then I got really excited about it, and And then and then Chris asked if I could help him with the class, so then I started doing that. And it's been a good experience so far.
What makes her so unique is the fact that before she joined me as an assistant, me with teaching, I was giving out homework assignments basically on landscapes and lakes and rivers and animals and different things. Basically, the same thing every week, or not every week, but every round of teaching. And it was getting kind of boring to give out the same things all the time. But the students, of course, they never saw that target before, that homework before. She came along and she was adding more things to the homework. She was giving out very unique homework assignments, like picking things that I wouldn't even think of. And the students were getting very excited because they love the things that she picks. They love her fun targets, her stuffed animals, her unique things that she I would never think of. And so they really got a kick out of they love her homework assignments. And so getting back to my pathway, there was also a kind of a dark side to all this as well. And that was the fact that I was having a lot of missing time experiences. When I know where the missing time was, I was with my ET family. I'll never forget one night.
Say something about that really quickly.
Yeah.
So Chris and I, we were chatting back and forth one night, and like all of a sudden he just disappears. I'm messaging him and he's just like not responding. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like he fell asleep or something. The next day he's like, I have no idea what happened last night. Like he had like this missing time, and it was just really, really crazy to me, honestly.
Yeah.
So getting back to what night she's discussing, so we were on the phone talking to each other, and I said something very weird because okay, so when I went to school from like pre-K or whatever, go up to high school, everything I did was on paper and pencil. And so now they got these devices called the cell phones. My typing skills on a cell phone is about as high class as a beaver's behind. So I'm always mistyping things. And so I mistyped something to her. Well, she was laughing about it. And now here's the key to this. Okay, she was just laughing, and I said, "Go ahead and get it out of your system. Laugh all you want." And when I said get it out of your system, I said, "Well, I might as well get out of bed now." It's 9:30 in the morning, just like that, like instantaneously. And I stopped, and I thought, "Wait a minute, what in the world's going on?" So I looked at my wristwatch that I had on the table, and which is I have it on right now for those who want to see it. The same watch, and I had something didn't seem right, so I had to retrace my steps. Okay, so I'm on the phone with Rachel. She's laughing, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and got up, did my morning routine, and went to get dressed. My clothes were scattered across the room. Not one only I usually keep them stacked like this on top of this. They were scattered, and then I thought, okay, this is another one of those experiences. But this seemed a little bit odd. This didn't seem like a normal experience. Normally, when I get taken, I'm normally already in a chair, relaxing, or in bed, and then I go and come back. This was a little bit different, and I spent better part of the whole day because she was resting up for work later that night. But I was up walking around that day trying to piece everything together. At some point in the afternoon, I started getting visions of being surrounded by 8 ETs. Now, I know somebody very, very well who has had a very similar experience on this particular vision that I had. I'm surrounded by 8 ETs, and I didn't know at the time, well, I didn't think about it at the time, but what they were doing was they were preparing me for my next level, my next mission, my higher up level. And it wasn't until I heard this other person, who I won't say her name, made the comment about that when she had the same experience. And when she said next level, that's when I just started getting okay, now I'm starting to remember.
Yeah.
At the time when I had that vision of being surrounded by 8 beings, I had a feeling like it was my next mission. I didn't quite have it all pieced together, but I was pretty sure. And then after that, nothing happened for over a year, which that brings us now to 2025.
Mm-hmm.
There was earlier this year, or was it? And it was earlier this year. There was one incident where I had well, it was either earlier this year or November, December of last year. I can't recall right offhand, but this is not a joke. I mean, I remember this very well. I was sitting in the same chair I'm in now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd been eating potato chips and watching. There's a show that me and Rachel watch a lot called The Y-Files,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what we were watching. But anyways, I fell asleep, which is uncommon for me to fall asleep around 2 or 3 in the morning. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, oddest thing, I said to myself, "Man, I was gone for 2 weeks." I said that out loud to myself. I was gone for 2 weeks. I didn't even know why I said that. I just blurted it out to myself.
Yeah.
And then I started remembering, okay, I remember being aboard craft. Wow, was I gone for 2 weeks? Because when I woke up, I didn't have no idea what day of the week it was or nothing. My mind was like in a complete fog.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally in a fog. And for those listening, if you've never had a missing time, and this is honest to God truth, and I mean this with all honesty, when you have missing time, and this is the honest truth, it is the most confusing freaking thing you ever had. If you don't know what's going on, it's very confusing. And in fact, before I even met Rachel, there were times that I had missing time, and I would literally stare at the wall all night long, trying to piece it together. And there was always a part of me that knew, okay, it's all peaceful. There's also that thinking part of me, that left side of my brain, because your right side of your brain has all the knowledge that your left side doesn't have. Your left side of the brain is where you walk, talk, eat, and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Your right side is the psychic side. And so I was thinking, so when you have missing time, your right side may store all the memories that your left side doesn't have access to. Mm-hmm. That does happen. And so my missing times, even as a kid, I would sit there and just stare at the wall trying to figure it all out. And who do you tell? Oh, you're just dreaming, or you're just having sleep problems, or whatever.
Yeah.
But no. So which brings us, like I say, now to 2025, and the experience, and of course I did have past life regression done. I had hypnotherapy done. This is before I got certified. This was last year or the year before. Rachel might remember the date better than me. I think it was last year. I had hypnotherapy done, and during that time, I was able to go back and recall everything about the spaceship. Mm-hmm. And my life purpose, which I knew my life purpose is to heal and help other people.
Yeah.
So while I was having hypnotherapy done, and I began to recall the spaceship, which the spaceship is a black ship, and this ship does not fly; it stays grounded. That is like the base or the home base. There are little ships that come out of that we fly around in. Mm-hmm. And inside this big ship, we have rooms. One of them is the healing room. That's where we take individuals like yourself. If I cannot heal you just by speaking to you and doing remote viewing, because I can do remote viewing healing, and that's what me and Rachel do. We heal people through remote viewing. Mm-hmm. If I cannot heal you, or one of us can heal you, we take my family, my dad and I, or family, take you on this spaceship. We have a healing room, and this room we can heal you. What happens is there's a grid on the floor. It's like a grid. The best way I can describe this grid is almost like, you know what the grates on a grill look like.
Yeah.
It's like that, but these are blue, and we lay your body on there, and my family or my father will take his hands on the wall, and he programs it. By doing this, programs it to your specific needs. And this blue light will come up over the grid. Like, it doesn't make any sound, though. And it heals you, and then we take you back. Yeah. And people have asked me, do I ever walk around the ship and see everything? No, my job pretty much is to stay in that healing room with my father. Mm-hmm. My father is mainly the one I'm in the room with the most. Right next door to that is my room. My room is gray. It has nothing in it.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think I can probably manifest or think what I want and it'll appear. I don't know. I don't have any. My memories mainly around the healing room.
Yeah.
But now, remember the earlier part of the story where I told you about the woman in white, the white angel?
Yes.
Okay. That is my mother. She works in the nursery on the ship. It's a nursery for the kids. And I've seen that room a couple times on ship. Now, mind you, I probably have seen more of the ship than what I can recall.
Yeah.
But she's in that healing room, and she watches little kids, and these are just they could be just, I don't know if they're ET kids or actual like people like us or a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but she sits in a chair and plays with these little kids and keeps an eye on them.
Yeah.
And, I remember that, and I also remember, like I say, my room and then the healing room.
Yeah.
And so during 2025, I began to research. Well, actually, I got notified by somebody in MUFON, a friend of mine, who said that MUFON, our organization, likes to have hypnotherapists in every state.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if somebody, let's say somebody in Florida needs a hypnotherapist to do past life regression or just for help in general, he doesn't want to go clear to, let's say, Texas for a hypnotherapist. He wants somebody local.
Yeah.
And so MUFON was looking for hypnotherapists have one for each state. And so I agreed to do Illinois. And so I went through an online course and got certified with the National Guild of Hypnosis. So now I am a certified hypnotherapist. Mm-hmm. And this was back in June or July actually. When I started taking the course in May, we got done around July. Got my certification.
Yeah.
So now I can do and have my own business now. It's Otherworld Hypnosis. And you can go on Facebook and find that and book a session with me. Anybody can. It's Otherworld Hypnosis. You'll see my face.
Yeah.
And we can do anything from stress, anxiety, smoking habits, drug addiction, anything you want, including past life regression. And past life regression is great because I'm taking a course on that right now. I can already do past life regression. I'm taking a course to get my certification in that as well. Mm-hmm. And so ET experiences are still going on, although they had an experience here recently, which I will get to. But before I get to that, is there any questions for me or Rachel or any of us?
Well, for Rachel, have you had any contact experiences as well?
Yes. Mine haven't been as like in depth as Chris.
Uh-huh.
As Chris, I mean, unless they wiped my memory, but I've seen craft in the sky like a couple of times. And then like so the first time I had the experience where I saw them outside, like, so I was like in my dorm room at the time, and I heard this, like, I don't know what it was, but it was like something was telling me to go like look out the window. And so I go and I look out the window and I see this, like, it's like a pretty big craft. Uh-huh. And then it, like, so I'm watching it go in a line, and then all of a sudden it like zips off and it's just like poof, gone. Mm-hmm. And I was just okay, that was weird. Like, okay, I don't know what to make of that. And I felt like they kind of stuck around for like a couple of days because, like, I could, like, I don't know why, but like I could feel them sort of like their presence. I don't know what they were. And then after that, I saw another one actually recently. It was like maybe 6 months ago. What's crazy is when I saw it, it was already like starting to wipe my memory. So I think I told you about Chris, or I was telling somebody about this. Like, I was walking from Walgreens and I see this like thing in the sky. It's really bright, and then it disappears. And I was like, oh wow, I gotta tell somebody that. And I think I told either you, Chris, or I told somebody else. Anyway, I tell somebody about that, and later on, I actually forgot that happened because somebody like goes to me and they're like, hey, like, you know, tell me more about that thing you saw, that UFO. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what?
Oh, no.
Oh. And then I sat with it and I was like, oh yeah. Like
I remember that.
that was basically being wiped from my memory, because like I couldn't even remember it until it got jogged.
I think I remember that because you started to lay down that night and you said, wait a minute, did I see a UFO? Yeah, I came back to you all suddenly or something.
Oh, no, it was like someone had to like tell me about it before it like jogged my memory. But if someone hadn't like reminded me, I would have just completely forgotten about, like I would not have remembered that at all.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the extent of it.
Mhm.
But unless other things have happened and like
You just don't remember.
I mean, that's very possible.
Yeah. Have you tried doing any of the past life regression hypnosis or anything like that to try to see if there's anything you're not remembering?
No. I have not done that. I probably should do that. I might do that at some point.
Yeah. No, that's entirely fair of just not being ready to do it yet.
Well, no, I'm ready. I have this weird fear that like I'm not gonna be able to be like hypnotized.
Mm.
Like I'm willing to go through with it, but like I'm not afraid or anything of whatever it is they'll find. I'm mostly just afraid that I'm not gonna be able to be hypnotized, but we'll see. I'll definitely try it though.
Yeah.
What I'll do now is I'll discuss some of the love that I've gotten from the ETs, but then I'll tell you about an incident that happened recently, like very recently.
Yeah.
And so one thing I've learned from my ET experiences is that it's all about love.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because a couple years ago, I had a dream, not a dream, it was real, but I was with my father aboard the spacecraft, and this is honest to God truth. I've been feeling a little down and upset even then, and I went aboard craft, and my father was on the other side of an empty room, and all of a sudden, and this is the truth, the whole room was engulfed in what I can only describe as, and people have often said this before about their experiences, the most full and engulfed in all this love.
Mm-hmm.
Like the room was like infused with the humongous amount of love, and we embraced each other. And the message that I got from him was, "It's okay, you are loved. There is love."
Mm-hmm.
And then I also heard him say that love is all you need and all there is. But the room was just infused with love. And when I came back to, I still felt all that love, and I remembered every second of that incident, or that moment. And having been aboard craft as many times as I have, I don't know how many times I've been aboard craft. I've never counted. I don't even know if I could. But there's always so much love on the craft.
Yeah.
But this particular time that I described was the biggest amount of love I've ever went through. And so an incident that happened recently, and I'll go ahead and save this. This is very unique, and I've never been taken in broad daylight ever. I've never been gone in broad daylight. It's always been at night. And you know what's funny is, and anybody out there listening, let me put in the chat room or something if you ever had this. But every time I've been taken, it's always been around 9.
9:30, I think he's gonna say.
9:30.
Yeah, I wanted to mute. The telephone is ringing, so I wanted to mute.
Oh. Yeah. That's really interesting because that's very consistent. The last lifelong contactee that I had on the show was Nancy Timms. I don't know if you know her at all, but she had very similar experiences where she had that same feeling of just being surrounded by love, and they were kind of telling her that they don't make more contact with humanity because we're not really loving enough as a species for them to be safe with that yet.
No, they want to come down and give us all the togetherness and love, but they don't because we're not all on the same wavelength. We're not ready for it yet.
Yep, that's exactly what she was saying too. So I think that's really interesting that both of your experiences are very similar in that.
I just heard something in my up here that said messenger. So I don't know what that meant, but I just got the word messenger that came to me. So maybe they're saying like you're the messenger, Chris. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
getting back to this incident that happened recently, I've never been taken in broad daylight, but this one particular, this was just within like 4 to 6 weeks ago, maybe 7. I was at my day job.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, and where I work, we have to take turns going out to grab the grocery carts. But I do a little bit of everything at this job. I'm not just one. I do everything from cleaning to bagging to you name it. I'm well rounded. Of course, I've been there 27 years. I don't plan to be there a whole lot longer, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. But anyways, 3:30 in the afternoon. 3:30. I went out to grab the grocery carts. At 3:30. Okay. At 3:50, I came back in. But while I was out there, I heard like a light buzzing sound. And so at 3:50, I came back in. I'm bagging groceries, and and the customer was talking. I made the comment. I said, "Well, it's about 10 to 4, 3:50," and she says, "No, it's 5 o'clock." I said, "It is not 5 o'clock." So I looked at my wristwatch. My wristwatch says 3:50.
Wow.
Looked at my phone. My phone says 5. The computers on at the store say 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the ladies at the service counter, she says, "It's time for your break. I've been looking for you for an hour. We couldn't find you."
Wow.
Literally, she said, "We looked for you for an hour. We couldn't find you. Where were you?" I was outside, and I tried to think back to what happened. I didn't have any recollection of doing anything outside other than I remember going outside, hearing the light buzzing sound in my ear. That's all I remember. Everything else is a complete blank.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
I was gone for over an hour, but it seemed like it was instantaneous to me.
Yeah. This is one of the few daytime experiences you've had then.
And this particular experience, I don't have any visions or memories of it at all. I mean, nothing. I mean, it's just a complete like a blank.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Chris, I noticed that you keep talking about your ET family, but you haven't really like described them or like mentioned what they look like. Mention. I don't know if you wanted to say like what they are, what they look like. I don't know.
Yeah, so my ET family, for the longest time as a child, they came to me in human form. But it wasn't until that day when I finally had the courage to pull the covers down and look at who was there. That's when I saw them in their true form, which is a praying mantis. Now, mind you, before I joined MUFON, I didn't talk to them. I didn't before I joined MUFON. I didn't refer to them as a praying mantis. I always thought at times I would see them in their natural form. To me, it looked more like a large grasshopper. Yeah. But I was told they were a praying mantis. And they come sometimes in 2 different ways. I mean, nowadays they come in their true form. As a kid growing up, they always came in human form. And but this is the thing. See, we were all made by one source. We're all made by the same. Some of us call it God. Other people call it. The ETs call it source. They call it source. They don't call it God. They say source or higher power, as they refer to it as. But we're all made by the same thing. And so we're all human in a lot of ways. All of us are. Even animals are considered like a human because we're all made by the same thing. And around 2020, let's see, this is 25. So around 2023 was when I lost my, at the time, one of my best friends, my cat. Me and my cat were like this. Yeah. And no matter what would happen, it didn't matter if I was having experiences or not. Every night when I would go to bed, my cat would come down and lay on the floor, and he would protect me from anything negative for like 20 minutes or so. Once I fell asleep or would leave or whatever would happen, he would go back to his bed. He would always lay there for like 20 minutes and wait, make sure I was safe. And he was very smart. I mean, he knew everything before you even say it. Like he knew if I had to go to work, if I didn't.
Yeah.
He knew everything. Every night for like 20 minutes, we would put our heads together like this. and put our heads together. We would sit there for 20 minutes like this, and we would like communicate with each other just by doing this. We knew what each other was saying and thinking. And when he died, that was a huge heartbreak.
Yeah.
I mean, and I held him in my arms the night that he passed away. I picked him up, and he looked at me and he go, "Ah!" You saw it was me, and then he got real calm, and then he just passed.
Yeah.
And people ask, how come you haven't got a new cat or a new animal? I said, you can't replace a best friend.
Yeah.
And so here we are now. It is October of 2025. Almost started to say August, but it's October now.
Oh, no,
And
I think it's November now.
It's November now, yeah. It snuck up on us.
missing time again. No, just kidding. But yeah, here it is, November 2025. I'm doing hypnotherapy. I'm still doing all the UFO work. I work in two areas in MUFON. I'll go ahead and say this. The first area I work in is field investigating. That's where we investigate UFO sightings that people report. And we get quite a few sightings a month, sometimes more than others. And our reports, basically, we contact witnesses, we interview them, we fill out paperwork, and we never say on our paperwork, we never say they had a UFO encounter. We always say they had a sighting.
Yes.
Because a sighting could be anything. It could be a lamppost that they mistook as a UFO. It could be a comet, or just simply headlights reflecting. Anything could be what people think they saw. They think they had a UFO sighting. Once we investigate it, oh, that was simply this, or a planet, or there's various things that we go through. We have a list that we check off. Okay, was it this? No.
Weather balloons, etc.
A lot of airplanes and stuff too as well. Yeah. And then of course we contact the witness in the end and let them know, okay, hello, we're contacting you. Let you know we finished your report. And what we found out was at the same time you had your sighting, there were two aircraft, Continental Air Jets, flying over your area, and that's probably what you saw. And then okay, that matches up, because if an airplane is flying over at 10:45, the same time you had your UFO sighting, okay, that's probably what you saw.
Yeah.
And that's the first area I work in. The second area I work in is a group where we work with people who are having PTSD or suffering, not say suffering, but being contacted by ETs. Now, some people recall or say that they've been abducted, and that is not true. You are not abducted. Abducted is when you get kidnapped by somebody who's taking a child, or taking you, or kidnapping you. When you have an ET encounter, you voluntarily go. You don't realize you do, but you do voluntarily go in a way. You do allow it. And so you're not being abducted. You're being helped, being healed, or being guided in your life path.
Yeah.
And so many people that I've worked with in this group, because I work with people sometimes every week I'll contact somebody. How you doing today? Anything else I can help you with? How you feeling? And every person I've worked with, they always say, most of them say that it's all that they've been healed, or it was a wonderful contact.
Yeah.
Some people I work with that I call a contact, they have fear at first, a lot of fear. But then once I speak to them and help them, then they begin to realize, okay, it wasn't as fearful as I thought it was. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, because at first when you have contact, you don't remember, and so it can be relatively scary.
Yeah.
And then once you begin to understand everything, wait a minute, okay, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was. It was much more peaceful than I thought it was. I just misunderstood the signals, because when they come back, a lot of times they don't realize it at first. But wait a minute, I don't have that problem anymore. My leg feels better, or my pain is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just kind of so freaked out they don't necessarily realize that they were also healed in the process.
Right. Now, not every person that I've worked with has had positive experiences. There's been some that's been negative. I will say there's been some. But a lot of times, once you understand it more, they realize it's not as bad as they thought it was. But sometimes it can be. Yeah. I've had people who have had some negative. There's been some that have, like, I'm working with a person right now who I've been working with her for a couple years now, and she still has ongoing situations that we're still trying to figure out. But not everything's positive, but a lot of it is. I guess it just depends on because there are different races of ETs. There are like there are some that we call the Nordics, the Council of Eight, Council of Seven, various races, and some are more positive than others. But then some humans are more positive than others too.
Yeah.
But are there any questions that you have for us, or anything you want to ask?
Yeah. So with MUFON, what is the best way for people to report if they've had a sighting?
The best way to report a sighting is to go to MUFON.com. You can report a sighting 2 different ways. You can report having physical contact by filling out a questionnaire, or you can report having a sighting report, like I saw a UFO in the sky. Either way you want to report it.
Awesome.
You are listening to Strange Talk on Radio Artifact on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FM HD2 WVXU in Cincinnati.
And then I know sort of, recently there's been more of a debate of people when to call them UAPs versus UFOs, and I just wanted to see what your opinion was on that, whether they're interchangeable or whether we should stick with UFOs or...
A lot of us in the UFO network or UFO community, we still use the term UFOs, unidentified flying object. Some people do use the term UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Because either way, whether you say it's unidentified phenomenon or unidentified object, it's all basically means the same thing.
Yeah.
And one thing we never do is we never say that they had a UFO encounter, because we never say that literally, because of the fact that there are so many other factors that could have been involved. But once we rule everything out, like we went through all of our checklists, and we can't find anything to say that, okay, what you saw was this or that, we have no proof. Then we say it's an unknown object or something that affair. Even if in our hearts we believe it was UFO, we still say unknown object.
Yeah, you say, well, we definitely can't explain that. Awesome. Well, we're almost at the end of our hour here. I have some Zenner cards here. Do you want to try to take a crack at one of them?
Sure. Before we do that, I do want to make one plug, and that is everybody please go to the YouTube channel and check out SWPI Pekin. Something Wicked Paranormal Investigations.
Yes.
I am a paranormal investigator with Something Wicked. We are a great group of field investigators. We've got new episodes coming out really soon. We've been on Amazon Prime before. We've done different locations. And if you go to YouTube, go to our website, go there, and you can watch all of our episodes. We got a great new episode coming out. It is fantastic, and I think you'll be pleased to see that. And yeah, if you want to do Xena cards, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll take a crack at one. And also, I will have to have you back on to talk about that as well, because an hour is just not enough time.
Yeah, if you want to come back on, I'll bring the whole group. We can do a whole.
Yeah, that would be great. So have you done the Xena cards before? I'm guessing.
Me and Rachel have kind of dabbled at it a little bit.
Yeah. So
don't be surprised if I ace it or if I fail it. Either way.
The funny thing is, I hadn't looked at this one yet, and I've been thinking about it while we've been talking, and I was able to guess which one it was. So.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Yep, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, I'm going. Let me see. Let me tap in here. Triangle.
This one's
I'll
circle.
say
Oh, sorry, I said it before you got a chance to. Hold on, let me grab another one. All right.
wavy line.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with wavy line myself.
Wavy line. We got square on that one, but sometimes it takes some time to warm up too, so we'll do one more.
I almost want to say like a circle or octagon type shape.
Octagon. Rachel?
Star.
We got the cross on that one, but like I said, usually it takes some time to warm up. That's why they're not my favorite thing. I'm sure they may not be your favorite tool either.
Okay. Anything else you want to know before we exit?
I think that's everything right now, but I'm sure I will probably email you like 20 more questions after this.
Sure. And please, everybody, sign up for our remote viewing course if you want. Just contact me through my email. And need hypnotherapy done. That's Otherworld Hypnotherapy.
Yes.
And then, of course, our SWPI Paranormal Group. And don't forget to check out MUFON.com.
Yes, MUFON.com, especially if you've had any sightings of things that you can't explain. Well, thank you both so much for coming on.
Did you mention that you do healing as well, like a healing course?
Oh yes, I'm sorry about
yeah,
that.
you didn't mention the healing course.
I also do remote healing as well. So once you take our remote healing course, there are other courses. There's remote healing, learn how to heal and help other people. There's also remote influencing, which is similar to kind of like the government mind control, but we do it all for positive.
Yeah.
There's our advanced courses and our remote time travel course where you learn how to time travel through time, and I have proven that does work.
Yeah. Which, again, an hour's not enough because we could talk about all that.
This may just be a part 1.
Yeah, I think this should be a part 1. But again, thank you both so much for coming on. This has been so much fun getting to talk about this stuff.
And thank you so much because we love being here.
Yeah, thank you. Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and sign off for the night. So good night and good luck.